Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Let's get started. We've got a full house tonight. Let's just keep all the crosstalk to a minimum. First, I'd like to welcome to the commission Brian Hall. He's going to be joining us under a 60-day temporary commission appointment, and then it'll be a 3-year as Nick was the same for our last meeting, so thank you, both of you. Just remember, if you're going to be taking any videos or pictures during the meeting, to let me know in advance. I appreciate that. There is a section now on our agenda we started adding for public comment on agenda items. It's a 2-minute time limit. I'll go first. We did receive an email from Judy Tysinger. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Good afternoon. There's not anything I am sure can be done at this point to protect what has been going on to the area behind my house at 323 Park Street. I've been dealing with the issues with National Grid since the project started back in 2014. If you look into the minutes of April 2015, they broke the ledge during construction, had disrupted the natural stream that flows through the area where the facility is located on Park Street. There's been nothing but empty promises from the commission, National Grid, and the city in regard to this project and what the abutters have had to deal with. My current concern is the culvert, which is no longer clear due to the bike trail that is behind my home. It is not maintained by any means, and with the dumping of trees and other debris back there, how will this be cleaned up? How is this affecting the water flow in the swamp to the culvert? My second concern is that all the ledge back there where they do want to remove and put in new towers, how is this going to be handled? Is there anything is there any blasting? Constant hammering like in the past that shook our homes. What is going to happen to the natural springs that run through the air between Crystal Lake and Pearly Brook? And I want to know how they are going to get the kind of heavy equipment back there they need for this project. We have young eagles flying in and out of the wood line back there, 2 of them, and 2 adults, as well as hawks. And they're telling me they will come back. It is just not something I believe, as they took the nest from the red trail hawk and they have yet to return. I am not sure if anyone's even paying attention anymore to all that has been promised and to what we are currently dealing with. The water content in my yard is never ending now. I have a large amount of moss as grass. It's getting harder to grow. There is an area that is starting to sink, and I have noticed in my neighbor's yard, an area starting to sink as well. Never mind the car full of kids that drove down the path the other day and almost drove into my chain link fence. What are the consequences for dismantling of what is supposed to be preserved back there? There is a lot of natural water. Have you seen the salamanders? They're back there. The deer, they're back there. Just not sure who even cares about that anymore. Definitely not what I was imagining 20 years after buying my home. Please take the time to meet with me, as I was not given the chance to address the grid at the last public meeting. When I tried to talk to you all about my concerns, was told the meeting was closed and to send an email to be read. Thank you for your time, Judy Tysinger, 323 Park Street. I'll submit this for records too. Anything else? Anybody else wish to speak under the public comment? You got a 2-minute timeline. Nobody's willing to speak. No one has anything to speak about.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
Alan Russo?
Thank you, Alan.
Couple things relative to an agenda item coming up, which is a sludge landfill enforcement order. I've been at every single meeting since that has occurred earlier this year and times before that. Submitted numerous documentation. I'm interested in finding out, some of the things that have happened recently. First of all, is there a report from Mass DEP on the incident that happened on March 6th? I understand they were on site on the 10th. They conducted a meeting with somebody from the city. I don't know who that was. I understand from this last meeting, the conservation agent was not looped in on that meeting, which concerns me because the conservation agent notified Mass DEP on the 6th of March. Second thing, concerned about maintenance records in the pooling the pooling of liquid of some sort on top of the landfill, which was discussed, that did not appear in the first letter that came from DEP back in September. I read that thing a couple of times, talked about a plume of old sedimentation. So who met with Tom Rabula and Judy Schmidt on that day, and why wasn't this pool mentioned? It seems to be the source of the problem. So those are my main concerns, and I'm also interested in seeing the amended enforcement order that you, as a commission, approved last week. I'm very concerned as a property abutter for what is happening out there. It's been happening for several years, so you know, I'm confident we'll be able to address those things tonight and over the foreseeable future here, because I don't think this thing is close to being figured out unless we have answers to every single question. So thank you for the time, Chairman.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak?
Mr. Chairman, Paul DeMail, resident. Only comment I would like to make that I concur and I support what Mr. Russo just said.
Thank you. Anybody else? No, thank you. Keep going down the agenda. Busy night tonight. Meeting minutes, none at this time. Request for certificate of compliance, none at this time. Next on the agenda is the enforcement order for the sludge landfill. Is somebody here to discuss the sludge landfill? State your name for the record, please.
Dean Arnold, DPW Director.
Thanks.
This is Rob Oliver, the city engineer.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, as far as the meeting with DEP, and that was set up through Veolia in the city, Veolia and DEP. I believe it was Dan, who from the Central Mass reached out to Veolia, Joe at Veolia,
Yeah.
set that up as a site meeting. I myself was present, Rob Oliver was present. And then Tom, ours from DEP was present.
What was the outcome of the meeting? Did you hear any reports yet, Dan?
I've not received any report, just, conversations about, tightening up the maintenance and, coming up with like a standard procedure, updating the operations manual, things like that. But nothing's formal come from DEP.
To add to what Mr. Arnold just said, when we were out there, Tom Regula did have a couple of recommendations to take immediately, which were done shortly thereafter, which was erosion control barrier around that plume of sediment, so that's new, that got installed. And then there was an area on the slope where sand stockpile for the operation on the landfill went down the slope. During that meeting, that got cleaned up, and then his department went back with slope netting to stabilize it, where it had been cleaned up.
So where was the netting? We were there that night.
Literally right from the outlet, straight
So
up the
It
embankment.
was,
Riprap above?
Not riprap, jute-matic was laid down the embankment.
Okay, I didn't see that.
it was not done, it was probably done a week after DEP was there. So it was after you had been there.
So we've been under enforcement order since November, and we haven't heard anything from you guys. We asked a considerable amount of information, didn't receive any. Is there anything you have to give us today? Maintenance records, process?
Check with Veolia as far as maintenance records, it's a bound, booklet. Most of it, I haven't looked at it, most of it is,
We asked for the O&M manual a while ago. I don't have it yet, so we can at least kind of refer to it.
the
and look at it.
2016 O&M manual.
That's not the only one we have? I don't know.
I believe, I'll have to double check, but I thought I sent that to him.
Do you have it?
I don't have it with me right now, no.
But did you get it?
It could have been in the original email that Dan gave us.
I'll look. So I guess, I'm gonna open it up to the commission to, kind of fire away some questions. We just wanna know what we're doing out there, how did it happen, the pond up top, maintenance, who does it, how often? That kind of, I know some of you can't speak to, but some of it you can.
I'll go back to the one that happened in October. We took immediate action on that. We cleaned, with hand tools, went out, removed the sediment from the wetlands. We repositioned silt fence at the outlet. We cleaned up the swale. We removed the stone dam. We cleaned, put in fresh stone dams. We actually, at the inlet that goes into the wetlands on the inlet side, we put in a stone, kind of like almost another containment area in the event something were to go to the inlet. That was the first enforcement. As far as this last storm goes, it was a combination of errors, and part of it is maintenance on Veolia, I will say that.
How come they're not here tonight?
I think the question would be,
I mean, I just assumed that they would be here when we had an enforcement order against them. I was looking for pictures the other night.
as far as the event that took place a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a combination of errors, of circumstances. We had snow, we had frozen ground, we had 1.7 inches of rain, we had snow melt, but there was also some maintenance things that could have been done from Veolia. Up at the top of the sludge landfill, what you are calling a berm or a dam, it's actually, that's our stockpile for mixing. When we bring the sludge up, we immediately mix it. That sand is hauled up from our gravel bank, we store it up there, so it's a pile.
On top.
On top. The pond you're talking about is where they're digging into it, which we talked to them. As far as when they're digging into it, they dug down into the material, causing a low point with the melt, the snow melt, frozen ground. It caused a dam. What we spoke to them since then is we found that they were pushing with the front end loader up the top of the mountain. They were pushing, and the material started to build up over the top of the existing slope, causing kind of a shelf. With the pond behind it, it let go, and that's what that erosion that went down the front side. There was also, I think, 2 other small sections on the north side, I believe it would be, that caused the erosion. We have since gone up there with our excavator, we pulled it back off the side, so it's no longer. We spoke to them as far as operating and making sure that they don't, continue to push that as far, and also trying to make it a little more level, so it's not a pool that's building up against the material.
Well, I just have a question related to that. I mean, if you look at even like Google Earth, these ponds seem to form frequently. So something's not being done properly.
It's at part of their excavation, yeah.
So, I mean, so part of like fixing the problem, that was never really done, in my opinion, because it happened again and happened in a worse way. And yes, I know there's snow, but there's snow every year. So something is not being done properly.
If the embankment wasn't there, the water would have run down the side of the slope directly into the swale, into the wetland.
Is that best practice to do what they're doing and have a pile of sand up there that would create a pond that could potentially be released and breached? Is that best practice for that situation?
I believe so, instead of running down the slope into the wetland.
No, I mean storing the sand or whatever you use up there to mix it. That, you know what I'm talking about, like.
If we didn't store it on top of the hill, we'd have to store it at the bottom and truck it up.
Okay, but that's why I'm asking
You'd
if it's
still have
best
runoff,
practice.
you'd still have runoff now from and if it rained, now it's just running off the side of the sludge landfill.
So when there is a big rain event like that, what is the process? Typically? We asked the guy on site, I forget who it was, but he stayed with us.
What should have been done, we should have checked the swales that were frozen with ice. I mean, that's part of the problem, is all the swales were frozen with ice. Ground frozen, we should have checked the swales and had them removed, number 1. And we should have also checked the top of the sludge landfill to make sure that the material wasn't hanging out over the top, so that it breached and flowed down into the frozen swale.
The largest problem in that last event was because of all the conditions combined, the swales in 2 or 3 areas breached, they overtopped the swale, and it was just because of the conditions. And what happened, that sediment release that you saw at the discharge was basically the water running down the gravel driveway that goes around the sludge landfill. It was flowing, the swales couldn't do their job because the water breached in a few places. So it ran, the driveways are pitched back in towards the landfill, so they basically ran, and all that sediment could carry down to the discharge point and then out.
Yeah, I saw that when I think I mentioned it and you guys were there. They plowed into the swale instead of plowing out towards the fence.
And that's,
I mean, anybody can walk out there and see that.
so Veolia has been instructed that they're gonna plow differently when they clean up around the landfill, because obviously we can't put the snow in the swales. They've been instructed to handle the stockpile of sand differently at the top of the landfill to avoid the pooling that we saw and the pooling that, with those heavy rains. going over the top. Ordinarily, the sludge landfill has some infiltration capacity. So, and it's designed to be that way because the liner collects it all, it gets pumped out by the leachate pump system. Because of the conditions, we had frozen ground, we had snow melt, we had rain. And I know that,
Can you guys just either have to take it outside? Thank you, sorry, Rob.
and I know that can happen, that's common, we live in New England, that happens all the time. It was just a whole series of unfortunate things that, lined up, caused, the runoff to exit the swale. Had that runoff stayed in the swale, we probably wouldn't be looking at this problem. Strictly because, when the enforcement order first came up, we did the work, the corrective work. We had added riprap check dams to the swale, the biggest one that collects the most runoff. And those were doing their jobs. They've been cleaned out a few times since. They've since been cleaned out again. The stone was replaced, so we have been maintaining them. It was just a series of kind of everything lined up to go wrong, and it did. So we've already taken actions to prevent that. And again, the plowing caused an issue, so that's easily can be fixed. But that's the biggest problem that happened in this last event, and that's what led to the sediment discharge.
Dan, I don't see that you gave us that book. I see some inspections and some well tests from July, but maybe it was too big as an attachment.
I'll get in, I shared
I
it.
do, you have sent me a bunch, I just don't see that one.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So I'm curious, where that came over the side and then down, is that, for lack of a better term, basin there, is that adequate or should that be enlarged?
Can't go too deep because there's a liner that you don't wanna dig through.
I'm just trying to, so we've had, this is like the third event, I think that's kind of led into some discharge there, so I'm just trying to, I believe you when you say it's been corrected, but like it keeps happening, and I'm assuming it will probably again, so how do we prevent more from going back into that stream?
The problem we have is it's a 1985 design and stormwater system. It's a swale and a pipe going to an outlet.
So is there anything else we could do to make it better?
I mean, we could add additional check dams. I think maintenance is key too. I think additional maintenance could be done. We've relied on Veolia to do it, and I think we need to, our sewer water department guys, the sewer department guys have gone out with our equipment and done when these things have happened. But I think in the future, we could do more. So I think maintenance is probably the biggest thing.
What did you guys do, what did they do for maintenance between the October breach and the breach we had a couple weeks ago? What have they done?
Cleaned out the swale, removed the old check dams, added new check dams, redid the silt fence that was on the outlet side,
Yeah.
Had removed all the sediment from that,
in the wetland.
the original one.
So who in the city is supposed to be out there making sure, and I don't know what the contract or whatever, who in the city is supposed to make sure that Viola is doing what
I
this?
oversee their contract.
I understand you're busy.
Well,
I mean, I see what you do.
Yeah, it's my
I
job.
see what you both do. But how are we gonna hold Viola accountable, Dane? And if you
It's
can't
hard
speak
to
about
sit
it
here
because
and
it's,
say how we're gonna stop this or help this from happening again, given it's literally a swale on a mountain with a discharge pipe to the wells. We can sit here and we can maintain the swale, as best we can, we can, talk to them as far as not having the material over the side of the slope, which we've done, and just tighten up our inspection, my inspection of that.
Veolia is a large international company. They're big on safety, they're big on the environment. This is the last thing they want to happen. So all we have to do, and we already have, we've already spoken to our project manager and his supervisor who manages multiple projects in the state. They're aware of it, they're looking to their experts to help advise us on our own end plan. What could we do differently, what could we add, what could we do differently with it, to make sure this doesn't happen. So, yeah, it's oversight, definitely, I think, on the city's part, but they're also very receptive to making things right, because they don't want this to happen. It's a blemish on their record as well, so I think they're committed as well.
in their contract, there must be something that we could do, right? I mean, there's gotta be some, I mean, I don't know how many years old the contract is, but wouldn't there be something in their contract if they have so many breaches or if they're not maintaining it? Per our contract, there's some stipulations, some guidelines, some way to protect the city from this happening again? Does anybody, when's the last time anybody saw the contract? Probably before our time, right?
It was just renewed in 2018, I know it well, but
Well,
Go ahead, Duncan.
the people that are doing it, they should have been here tonight.
I didn't ask them to come, because
Well, they should have been here. I mean, you know, it's nice that, you know, you got a lot on your plate, we all have a lot on our plate, but it's nice that, you know, to get somebody here, that's what they do. You know, that, they don't worry about plowing streets and this, that, and the other thing, you know? I think they should have been here tonight, maybe they, you know, you didn't ask them, they should have come anyways, they knew it was a problem.
Well, I can tell you that when we were there that night, the guy was taking it harder on himself than anything.
oh yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
think he does the best he can do with what he's got up there for a stormwater design and a hill, a mountain.
So piggybacking on what Duncan was just talking about, you know, I'm a new member, so maybe this is already done, but it seems that, you know, it's really important for communication to be open between your departments, the Veolia and us. So I think it'd be really helpful, like that last meeting you had, when I'm sure there was emails that were exchanged, and it'd be helpful if you guys looked and saw that, okay, Justin's name's not on there. So CC him so he can communicate with us, cause it'd be, great for us to actually hear this from them on site when we visit out.
If I could just, yeah, that meeting was set up by Veolia with, the wastewater bureau at DEP. I believe that they invited, Tom Gardner, the wetlands division personnel, to tag along. Why he didn't let Justin know, no idea, because.
I literally got a phone call at 10 o'clock saying, hey, we're meeting out here in an hour.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, there's no email exchange.
Okay, but yeah, but yeah, next time, just make sure you're aware that call Justin and let him know, so we can hear it all directly from them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we're still waiting from, and I know Justin's waiting as well, to get an update from DEP on that event, the day he did his inspection. And he walked the entire landfill while he was there, so, he should have good notes. And again, he made a couple of recommendations while we were out there, which we took care of fairly short with, so, we're waiting to see if they have more. And again, we'll do those as well.
Go ahead.
So I just wanna, I'm not trying to belabor the point, but you make it sound like, well, we have this really outdated stormwater system, there's not much we can do, but so I'm still wanna go back to see, so you did mention maybe new check dams, what else could be done? If this is such a bad, outdated stormwater system, I mean,
Well,
that makes it sound like it's just gonna keep happening, so what could we do?
yeah, it's a functional system. I mean, when it works, it works. It's, I think, again, we can do check dams for sediment removal. I mean, the sediment removal isn't, I think with some better management at the top of the landfill, which we've already addressed with Veolia, cause the sediment is basically the sand. Again, this last sediment release was due to the water running down that gravel driveway. Had those swales functioned like they do normally, I don't think we would have had that. We have big rain events and it's not typically a problem. So it was an unfortunate series of events that led up to it, not to say that more can't be done still. And Dan had said, we can't expand, say, you know, there's a small basin at that discharge on the inlet side of it. But there's a liner to the landfill, so we can't excavate because the liner's right there. So it's difficult to expand upon what's already there for that system solely because of the liner. If we, you know, dig and damage that liner, we have much bigger problems. So we don't wanna obviously do that.
Are these all outfall 002? Is this the same location?
I don't know the number off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if something could be done
Justin,
even
do you know?
across the road there,
I mean, we can certainly look.
cause it,
You're in the well.
Yeah.
I know.
We had discussed that on the
Yeah.
outlet side, and that's the problem, it's on the outlet, it's up against the wetlands. If mine or others, I catch it all on the other side,
Right.
inside the landfill.
Right.
And we can certainly look, at improving, you know, whether it's more check dams, getting the swales in a better condition, if they filled in, and that's something Veolia typically will do, the dozer that they use on the landfill, they'll track, and blade the swales to clean them up, but, we can certainly look at them and make sure, they're to the standard they're supposed to be. They are pushing 40, they're 40 years old.
We just need to come up with something, we need to get an engineer to work with you, Rob, to figure out how can we do this, cause I believe it is all outfall 002. And if that's the case, it started at 2020, 22, 24, now another one at 25. It comes to mind, that outfall too. I'm trying to look for it, but.
Yeah, we can certainly try and seek out some other recommendations or.
Could you do something along the road, on the fence side of the road, and make it like linear?
Within, inside the fence.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have the
There's no
room.
room, is it?
Was it
Literally got the slope.
Well, it's because of
swale.
poor maintenance out there, so I mean, how many feet of the roadway do you need, 10 feet to get around it, or what's the
Yeah,
standard?
probably 10, but the road's almost right up against the fence, right, on the inside, you have the swale and then the toe of the slope. There's not a lot, I don't believe.
But I'm saying, if you make it this way along the fence, even if it's a couple feet, and run it out, would it, Rob, in your estimation, would it do anything?
No, I think the road is enough of a break. Outside of this event where water get out of the swale, typically it's contained in the swale. I think if I'm gonna expend any energy out there, it's on the swales. To make sure, we can go back to the old plans, see what the design on the swales was, make sure they have the right cross-sectional area, and do that. And again, we can add some more check dams, buy more riprap and build those. That certainly, it does two things, it slows the velocity of the swales down and it provides some sediment removal. They have been working, the guys have cleaned them out a few times, so they are, hopefully it's better than it used to be. Outside of this last event, they were working. If you stood out there, you could watch the water literally coming down the road, back into the swale at the discharge,
Yeah,
and then right out.
can we put some swales and some water bars in the road, and have them pitch back towards the drain that's around the whole entire landfill, or the sludge? Cause right now, it literally, like you just said, it runs from almost where you drive in, down, and that's the low point.
Yeah, but that was an unusual event,
Well, it's pitched the opposite way.
You're asking to pitch the entire road towards the landfill?
No, just a couple swales along the road, back into that area, so.
What about,
Yeah, water bar pitching towards that is right, when I was there, the water's literally running down the road, that's a low point.
Again.
Across the
Yeah.
perpendicular to the road, you're plowing down in the winter and.
I used to build ski rigs for a living and plowed it, and you plow right over them.
Yeah, it's something.
It's something,
Again, I don't think,
cause he's plowing into it, you can see the berm.
yeah, that was the first thing I saw, the snow that plowed into the
Yeah,
swale.
so it's the first thing I said.
And,
Can we
so-
try a couple in that area, just up higher, so we can drain it down into this culvert?
Yeah.
Trying to think of other ways, cause we're gonna keep getting rain,
yeah,
it's not going away, and we're gonna get cold again one more time, I'm sure.
I don't think we'll see the water running down the roadway again if we did address the swales. We also even considered, what if we added, millings, we have a lot of asphalt millings, we could firm up that gravel driveway, make it a little bit more stable that way even. And then if water did happen to run out to it, at least now it's probably not gonna erode it, or at least not cause the sediment discharge we had. And given all the water that did get out on that driveway in that event, it was a mucked up mess.
Yeah,
So, that's something we talked about, I don't know, we can talk about that some more.
anybody else in the commission have any questions? Go ahead, Dave.
just a real quick, any results on the testing of the outflow that day?
Joe has not received results yet from his lab. Joe was away for about 10 days, so
Okay.
he just literally got back today.
Yeah, but wouldn't somebody else give them to us? I get my results, I think it was 4 days for my testing,
I don't know how Joe and the lab work, so I would just say he has not got.
He was asked that question today, he hadn't received the results yet.
What testing company do they use? You guys know? I just think in my mind, when I stop for vacation, my jobs don't start, they just keep going and someone takes over.
He also did tell us he had about 200 more emails that he had to get through. It could possibly be sitting in his email.
Okay, well, I guess what I would say is, I'd like to see Viola in here with the O&M manuals and kind of come up with their plan, and hopefully by then we get DEP's comments back and can kind of go over them as a group and address them. Fair? Everybody fair?
I'll make that motion, yes, definitely.
Let's, someone like to make a motion to continue to the, what is it, the 14th?
I'll make that motion.
Someone to second that motion to the continuance of the to the 14th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And, wait a minute, Jim.
No, we're closed,
and if
we're
you
closed,
can't-
we're closed. Just keep, it's fine.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
We'll take care of it. I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next is 36 Nicole Terrace. Is somebody here to represent? How you doing? Come on up, state your name for the record. What's your name?
My name is Ashraf Aziz. I'm in for 36 Terrace.
State your name on there on the Zoom as well.
Oh, Marion Pinto, 3 Oaks Environmental.
Thank you.
Well,
So I guess you started moving some wood.
I already started to remove the blocks and shred the branch. That's what they recommend before I start to plant the trees.
Do you know where the wetlands boundary is on your property?
Actually, I don't know, but my aunt, she put some flags, but I don't know exact. I already hired Chris to doing that because I can't do this by hand because it can be so big logs.
But the problem is you went out there and started doing work and made it worse. You understand? Is that who you hired to help you fix this?
Shimmer,
Marianne, can you kind of just talk about what the plan is and maybe explain? Can you hear us? Who's doing the work out there on site right now?
Chris.
Go ahead. Is that in place?
It's not in place right now, S&M Farms is installing it on the 4th.
Yeah, they're installing the containment on the 4th, right, April 4th? S&M's coming out.
Correct. Yeah, it's gonna be the mulch, socks with a 2-foot, silt fence, about 600 feet of it.
Yeah, we want straw and we want it dug in 6 inches, the bottom of the silt fence, just so
Okay.
they usually know, they know. Go ahead, David.
Oh, just, but it looks like wood chips were kind of launched into the wetland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started chipping over there when Justin was there. I was just trying to make it so we could get to the brush a little bit better. So I didn't even know about the really flags until I seen them they were when I got there, they were already pretty much on the ground. So I didn't know the representation of the blue flags at first until Justin had talked to me. But I was pretty much just past the flags when he got there, when I was doing the work. And, I was never told that we couldn't bring equipment in. I was just told to get the logs out of there and, I know, crane's not gonna be able to reach the whole 1.5 acres or whatever the project is, safely. So I had an 18,000-pound machine come in and then, to make light work of it. And there was one spot that was soft, in the whole project so far.
The problem is you did damage in the wetlands already.
Right, and then Justin explained that when he came and, then we stopped immediately. As soon as Justin asked us to stop, we stopped immediately. I had the machines picked up, everything was taken off site. We started making plans to buy the soot fence, the socks, we had already made all that to get it in there to correct the issue.
Okay.
And then now we're at meeting.
Mary Ann, how do you recommend them all the wood chips be removed? Has anybody shared pictures of you what it looks like today? Has anyone shared pictures of what it looks like today with you? All right, well, I think we should stop and don't do anything there until the silt fence is in place and Mary Ann makes a decision how you're gonna do it and comes before the commission and makes that plan.
That's okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
are you qualified to do this kind of work?
So, I got insurance on myself for anything I do, so I'm covered up to $2 million.
We're not talking about insurances, we're talking about within
So I'm
wetlands.
qualified to do the removal of the logs, which I was asked to do, just to chip the brush and remove all the logs. I didn't really know anything about the wetlands, and I knew it was a wetland issue, but I thought that if we corrected it, it was gonna be good. And I was just going on with as if, he told me that when the snow melted, we could start, so as soon as the snow melted, I gave it like an extra week, and then I restarted the project.
I mean, it really would have been better if you did it while the snow was there.
Right.
Yeah. All right,
Who gave who gave you permission to start?
The last time I talked with Marianne and Justin, they told me.
who's Maria?
Marie? Marie. I have to remove all the slugs
Did you-
and
did-
shit is
this-
there.
Wait a minute, just hold on a minute.
And it didn't happen. All right, let's continue this to April 14th. We're gonna wait for Mary Ann to give us some more direction. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave,
That's
one
okay.
more.
My concern is that, this is going from, kind of from bad to worse.
Yeah,
This original remediation plan may not be adequate until we see how much was actually damaged.
I agree.
So, okay, so that's all I'm saying.
No work,
When are you gonna be back in the
nothing.
area?
No, no.
Nothing, you start working, we're gonna start assessing fines.
I already stopped.
Okay, you
Yeah,
got,
immediately we stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mary Ann, when are you gonna be back here?
okay,
So the erosion control's gonna go in on 4/4, right?
yeah.
Yes, April 4th. And that's by the company Rick's house.
Go ahead. Just submit what you're gonna put in there before you do it. Go ahead, Duncan, whoever else.
I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Alright,
No, when you start putting your erosion controls in, you make sure Justin has been advised.
Yes, yeah, so like I said,
Justin?
the S&M Farms is coming to install it personally themselves
Yeah.
on the 4th. It's already scheduled, everything's already paid for. They are 100% scheduled for the 4th.
okay. Mary Ann, can you make it for the 14th to be in person here with us? Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion to continue 38 Nicole Terrace till April 14th?
I will make that motion.
Someone like to second that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We're all set. You're all set.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on, next, Mary Ann, next one. 282 Brookside Drive. Is somebody here for 282?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
So tell me what happened with the wood that you dragged out of the woods and put free wood. Where'd the wood come from?
It's from the area I cut the tree.
Do you know where your property boundary is yet?
No,
Did you look for it and try to find it anywhere?
we tried to go to the city hall with Justin, but I cannot afford what they said.
It's a free record. You have it, you just go to the city clerk and ask her. You can go online and Google it, comes right up. So right now, you're saying you took wood from someone else's property and you dragged it out and gave it away.
Like I take the one like
And
close
who
to the
who
house.
gave you permission to do that?
Like Marianne, I hired her and then she talked to someone of the commission conversation.
Chris, are you involved?
And she
No,
sent me
he's not on
the
that one.
email like I can start cut the wood and move it away. But I don't know that if I put it like to the people to take it as a problem.
Mary Ann, did you give her permission to take them, move them logs out of there?
Who are you working with? Okay. Alright. Alright, anybody else in the commission have anything for 282?
Just that we don't know the extent of the damage.
I know.
Do you understand that you're not to do any more work?
Yeah, we're not gonna do it.
Okay.
Justin, did you try to get his property, his map, his plot plan?
We did go to the assessor's office and we did pull the plot plan that was on their record, yes.
And are there boundary markers shown on there, like that are in the ground? That's not that old out there. Like, you know what I'm saying, like posts? Do you remember it? Probably.
Oh, when I went out, I didn't see any, clear indicators there.
When was your house built?
When? 2006.
That's close, I mean, I'm sure they're there somewhere.
Yeah, they should be.
Alright, again, do nothing, don't touch anything, don't move anything.
Sure.
You need to find out where those boundary markers are, if you can find them, so then when your surveyor's out there, he kinda knows where he's going. And stay off that property, it's probably, yeah, go ahead, Mary Ann. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna continue this to the 14th. Do not touch anything. If it's not your yard where you exactly know it's your yard, don't go over there at all. It's not worth it, you don't even know your boundary lines are, okay?
Okay.
Someone like to make a motion to continue to the April 14th meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Someone like to second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. Alright, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bye.
Alright, is anybody here from 125 Snake Pond Road? Now I'm gonna read it and then we'll continue it. The Gardner Conservation Commission will hold a joint public hearing under MGL Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, the City of Gardner Wetlands Protection Ordinance on the request for termination of applicability filed by James Policia. The project located at 125 Snake Pond Road, Gardner, map H12-514 for the proposed tree removal and is set to occur within the buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland. Nobody's here for 125 Snake Pond Road? Nobody. Alright, I'm gonna continue this to the 14th. If they don't show on the 14th, we're removing it from the agenda and I'll have to start over. Someone like to make a motion to continue to the 14th?
I'll make that motion.
Someone like to second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is a notice of intent by, for 0 Betty Spring Road. Is anybody here to represent? I'm gonna read it, then we're gonna continue it. The Gardner Conservation Commission will hold a joint public hearing under MGL Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act and City of Gardner Wetlands Protection Ordinance on a notice of intent filed by Gardner Consulting LLC on behalf of Winecrest Properties LLC for the proposed construction of a single-family home, driveway, and associated utilities. This project is located off of Betty Spring Road, Gardner, Mass, R272524, and a portion of the work is set to occur within the buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland. This is DEP 1600675. Someone like to make a motion to continue it to the 14th?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Someone to second that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is New England Power A1B2 transmission line. Is somebody here to represent?
Present, Teresa Portante with the SC Group.
I'm just gonna read this and you can kind of give us an update. The Gardner Conservation Commission will hold a joint public hearing under MGL Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, and the City of Gardner Wetlands Protection Ordinance on the notice of intent filed by DSC Group on behalf of New England Power Company for a proposed large-scale refurbishment project to be conducted on an A1B2 transmission line. Portions of the proposed work are set to occur near several areas of jurisdiction along existing utility right-of-way, both within and outside of Gardner city limits. This is DEP 1600677.
Good evening. So the last time we met, we gave an overview of the project, and we had just received comments from DEP and the issuance of our file number. So an update there, one of the comments pertained to signatures if easements are not in hand for the use of off right-of-way access. I've confirmed with the reps on the projects that we do have easements for the off right-of-way access routes, thus the need for signatures for the filing isn't necessary. They also, Tom is the reviewer, he had a comment about buffer zone not being shown on Green Street. We reviewed that area. I'm not, there's nothing on the Mass DEP layer, and we didn't delineate anything either. We've, contacted him to get some clarification on what he was seeing there, but we're not seeing anything. And then the other thing that I had notified the commission about is that DEP is reviewing the 401. We haven't received technical comments from them. We still need to go out and collect the information to update the wetland replication plan. So that's still in progress. But I did want to come in and meet with the commission. I know last week it was kind of digesting the project and seeing, what additional comments, questions that you might have at this time.
I kind of think we should wait for those comments to come back and forth from DEP before we keep
I definitely
continuing.
think so, yes.
On the 401?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think that'll be done by the 14th, or do you want to give it a little bit more time?
Let's give it a little bit more time because I do anticipate we'll also have an updated wetland plan for the replication area,
Okay.
and then that way we can address it then too.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think at some point before you start and before we vote, is there some areas that we can have a site visit and
Absolutely.
maybe we could isolate a couple areas that we wanna see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've done it over the years, and Grid will come and bring us to certain areas, and we'll kind of walk it. Let's try to start deciding what locations, and with this weather, it could be kind of tough, so it might be a little bit, but, anybody have any comments or questions? No? You wanna make a motion to
Just
the
a two
28th?
cents, you know, go ahead, yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll make that motion that we,
Continue to the 28th of April?
28th, yeah.
Someone to second that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
And he's got a list of sites if you wanna take a look at those.
Yeah. thank you.
Thank you.
The next is, DEP 1600673, Ebenezer Keys Conservation Area, somebody here to represent?
Yes, but also Paul is here, there he is.
Okay, let me just, the Gardner Conservation Commission will hold a joint public hearing under MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, in the Wetlands Protection Act, the City of Gardner Wetlands Protection Ordinance, on a request for the amendment of an order of conditions filed by BSC Group Incorporated on behalf of North County Land Trust for 325 Lindell Ave, Leominster. It's DEP 1600673, proposed gravel pit stabilization project on the Ebenezer Keys Conservation Area. It's map 827 105.
Hi, Paul Martin with BSC Group. When we received the order of conditions, I reviewed it and found that there were, some actual mistakes, like a reference to a variance request, and we hadn't requested a variance. And then there were some conditions that were contrary to what we talked about in the two hearings in terms of what were the plans for the project site. Like there was a condition that all disturbed soil areas be seeded and mulched. And we explained that the intent is for the native grasses that are there to have 2 years to become established. And then we would do any kind of remedial seeding that needed to be done. But the intent is not to mulch that area. It's very sandy soils. There's not gonna be a lot of runoff. Infiltrates very well. So anyway, if you've read this, you'll see that there's 15 different items that I brought up in the amendment request. I went over them with Justin and we've talked about this, and I'm pretty sure he's all on board with everything that was in and he mentioned last week that he's already got, I think, the revised or amended OOC prepared.
I mean, I understand fixing the clerical errors, but I've never ever had to go back and amend somebody's order of conditions for things that they didn't want in there. I don't know.
I'm definitely not for it at all.
I mean, I think we could do like a disclaimer page that describes some of those items that don't apply, but and I think that might be getting where you wanna be, so it's documented better, but going back and amending the order of conditions, I've been advised not to, but I can put it all as a disclaimer.
Well, I mean, it's in the regulations that you can file from.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna open up that's gonna be a problem.
Can I ask a question?
We haven't filed it with the registry yet.
Oh, well, that's a whole other situation, go ahead. How are
Emily
you?
Merlino, North County Land
How you
Trust.
doing?
I'm well. So my question is, so the order of conditions are conditions we have to comply with when we try to close our permit. If there are items in there that do not comply with the plans we discussed and had approved, how would we go about closing that order of conditions?
Well, if they wouldn't apply, then we note that they didn't apply. That's why I'm saying,
If it's listed in the.
yeah, like, if there's an airport or something, obviously there's no airport there, so that wouldn't apply. But that's why I'm saying the disclaimer page would,
Okay, and we won't run into problems to close.
I mean, I'd be happy if you guys close it out. I know you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these guys are very good at it. Over the years, most people don't. So,
I just.
it's on record, we're
we
committed
want
to it.
we
No,
wanna
I
do
understand
everything
that.
right, so.
Chairman,
Go ahead.
you know, I've been on this commission over 40 years, and we have never, ever changed them for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm dead set against it tonight, we're out. You can jump up and down screaming all up, I'm gonna vote no on it.
But there are clerical errors.
he already, Justin justified those guardrails, he made, it was his problem and he fixed it.
Go ahead, David.
Well, I think this disclaimer page would satisfy both parties.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because it makes sense what they're asking, it makes sense that we don't want things in there that don't really apply. So I think a disclaimer is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's a standard, it's a
Yeah.
standard we always have used. But this disclaimer can be almost what you have in your hand.
And how does that get filed with the registry?
It'd be another attachment to their filing, right?
I think so, or we could attach it to the letter that also requires that signature as well.
So maybe we could just take a second and go through some of the things that you would disclaim. So like, there's a condition in there that we do wetland replication.
If needed, right?
I don't think it says that.
What does it
Just says
say? Do you have it? Let me have it.
Which number conditions?
I think we're both trying to get to the same thing.
Well, I
so-
realize that, yeah. And I'm not adverse to the disclaimer as long as it captures the 15 items that are in here. And some of them can be.
But your rebuttal to these are longer than the whole page of conditions, so I just wanna make sure. Let me have that.
Your
Justin,
order
can you
of
pass that?
conditions is like 13 pages.
I'm saying, but
I got one
see.
page here.
I'm not debating that, I'm gonna work with you on it, but I'm not gonna go back here and. Which one are you talking about? What item number?
Well, the one about wetland replication
Did
is.
you find it in here?
Yeah.
That was still the research.
Condition 46 through 51, talk about wetland replication.
This isn't the full. Pass that back. You say 46?
Yeah, 46 through 51.
So on that disclaimer, we'll say that that has been removed, the wetland replication.
Sure, and like, my item 9, conditions 42 and 43 talk about maintaining a stormwater management system. There is no stormwater management system on the site. And 24, 25 talk about revegetation. And we're not actively revegetating until we've gotten past 2 years, not immediately after grading is completed. So if you think you can write a disclaimer that both removes the, administrative items as well as disclaim some of these items that aren't part of the project but were conditioned, then I think that would work.
We'll do that. Yep. Is there anyone else in particular on this that you wanna talk about?
Nope, it was pretty spelled out in the
Yeah.
letter.
Now, the clerical errors, where are they,
Well, my item 1.
besides, sorry.
The footnote regarding variance, the Wetland Protection Act form, page 2 of the section B, check boxes, interest under the Wetland Protection Act.
Okay,
There is no stream or pond on the site, but it was checked that there was. There's a statement that the work is within the 100-foot buffer zone or BBW. No, it's not, it's in buffer zone of IBW.
alright, let's do this.
But wait a minute, hold on.
No, we need to fix all these and get the disclaimer page, and then we'll, if you just wanna come back on the 14th, we'll go over it. You can zoom in if you want, and then we'll sign the disclaimer.
Yeah, I only live 5 minutes away, so I'll just come back.
Okay, alright, and we'll work
I
on,
have a question.
go ahead.
Justin, did you adjust those errors?
I did adjust the clerical errors for, yeah, they are adjusted.
Alright.
We can,
And I just have a question about the timeline.
Yeah.
So if we're revisiting this on the 14th, I have a contractor, ready to start work as soon as we have this straightened out, so if we're adjusting it on the 14th, am I ready to go the 15th, or does it have to go to DEP and then have a waiting period, like, what is that timeline?
Is it 14
like?
days, right?
Yeah, the 10-day appeal period.
Okay, so that puts us to pretty much May to start work.
Is there a way to override that?
I wonder if the appeal period applies if the order's been issued and it's been more than 10 days, certainly.
I mean, isn't that at our discretion at some point on this? It's in our ordinance to have that discretion.
Yeah, so I think the appeal period is probably passed.
For the original order to be official, yes,
Yeah.
yes, so.
Okay, so that negates that, correct?
Yeah,
Everybody in agreement here?
I
No,
Why?
I don't agree with it.
Okay, we haven't brought up the vote yet, but we're gonna vote to continue it to the 14th.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
now she's asking about,
I'm just asking
no,
about
no,
the
she's just asking
timeline.
about timeline and what it does, that's all.
Yeah.
but after we vote on it, then it's what is it?
Right now, we're gonna vote
It's a
to,
10-day period, right?
we're gonna vote to continue it to the 14th.
Right.
And then we're gonna confirm what that 10-day waiting period is. You can get a hold of,
I can get more clarification on that.
he's gonna get clarification on the 10-day waiting
Okay,
period.
alright.
Alright, okay, everybody good? Anybody on the commission have any questions? We need to fix it, there's mistakes, and we'll do the disclaimer. Would someone like to make a motion to continue to the 14th of April?
I'll make the motion.
Someone like a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Alright,
We'll
thank
make-
you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Hey, Dick. Next on the agenda is, Old Duck Pond Dam, somebody here to represent?
Yes.
Come on up, I'll just read it while you're getting set up. The Gardner Conservation Commission will hold a joint public hearing under MGL Chapter 131, Section 40 in the Wetlands Protection Act and City of Gardner Wetlands Protection Ordinance on a notice of intent filed by Haley and Aldrich, Incorporated on behalf of Mount Wachusett Community College, Commonwealth of Massachusetts for proposed engineered breach of the Old Duck Pond Dam and Ecological Restoration Limited Project. The project is located at 444 Green Street.
Thank you. Do you have a minute for an 8-minute presentation? Is that too long?
Go for it.
Trying to read the room and run through it?
We get paid by the hour.
Okay, excellent. If it gets boring, stop me, ask questions, whatever. My name's Dennis Bell, thank you for having me. I'm with a company called Haley and Aldrich, and here representing Mount Wachusett Community College. They have a dam and a pond on their campus, and off we go. Old Duck Pond Dam. This is a proposed breach project for an existing dam. Old Duck Pond Dam is here on the campus of Mount Wachusett Community College, Crystal Lake on the left there. It's a small body of water. And then I'm always interested in where these things come from. So go back to the maps here. In 1889 it wasn't there, so you flash through these things. In 27 it wasn't there, in 1943 it was not there. All of a sudden in 1946 the pond is there. So why did somebody put it there? Well, who knows. The area around it is agricultural, so presumably some farmer, had some, needed a source of water and took a bunch of dirt locally and made a dam. Okay, so 1946, it's there. Then in 1963, Mount Wachusett Community College was built here, and then now it's on the campus. I went out to visit the dam in response to a dam safety order by the Massachusetts Office of Dam Safety in 2023. And the dam is in poor condition. There's lots of problems, significant problems with the dam. And so I wrote that report, submitted it to the Office of Dam Safety, and what did they do? They issued 6 orders to the owner of the dam. The dam is structurally deficient, in poor condition, and there's 6 dam safety orders. Some of them are administrative, which we've taken care of, but there are still three that are a significant hazard. Okay, so the dam is under dam safety orders, and the dam needs to be brought up into compliance with the dam safety regulations or removed from the dam safety regulations, which in terms to breach. So I worked with the college for the last year or so in what to do with it. We've done an alternative analysis We submitted an appendix with the notice of intent of what to do. We've landed on this proposal here to actually do a controlled dam breach and take it out of the Massachusetts Office of Dam Safety regulations. So just a synopsis of the project. Step one, resource areas, why are we here tonight? And so we've gone out and done all the wetland flagging. We have our 30-foot no disturb, 60-foot no build, 100-foot buffer zone all around it. We also have a riverfront up at the top. This is looking north here, so it flows from south to north. The blue is the existing pond, about 5 acres. The brown is the existing dam. And then the dam is also leaking quite a bit right now, which is a problem. It has no functioning outlet, which is not a problem. All sorts of issues. Downstream slope is a mess. Anyway, so this is the resource areas. What do we want to do with this?
Hold on,
Yes, go ahead.
up top, the red bar, that culvert,
Yes,
is that in decent condition? Cause I remember that being repaired, but I don't,
that was repaired.
is it sized correctly to take this breach?
Okay, the water flow is gonna be the exact same today as it is in the future.
It's
That's,
controlled.
that's sized for, that's a 24-inch culvert there, and there's gonna be no increase or decrease in water flows based on this. So water right now comes into the pond, goes out of the pond. The same thing's gonna be happening after the breach.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Step one, set up our erosion control. I did here earlier what silt fence, whatever you guys, whatever detail you want, I'm happy to have you do it. I put on a detailed compost sock, we can combine them, 6-inch, whatever it is. So I'll set up our erosion control on the dam and where our disturbed areas are going to be. Hopefully someone's timing me, right, got my 8 minutes. There is a little bit of stream channel that we're gonna be constructing on the upstream side, so we use some swamp mats up there. There's some reasons, if there are questions later about the actual stream bed through the pond, we can go into that, but I'll gloss over that for now. The dam currently has a lot of trees. Trees are not allowed on dams. Trees cause problems, they cause dams to fail, that's a hazard to the public, and can all sorts of problems. So what we're gonna do with our dam breach project, we will do a limited excavation, but we'll just take the trees, vegetation down in a small amount, a lot less than if we had to do a complete rebuild. And so it's on our demo plan that I think everyone has. Water control is a very important part of any dam breach project, any dam project, okay? So I'll quickly gloss over the water control portion. Step one, since there's no outlet, we'll have the contractor go out and actually pump the water down 2 feet. That will coalesce the fish, give them a smaller area to actually be, and make it a little bit, and also take some hydraulic pressure off the dam, which is currently on there. Step two is to set up phase one cofferdam, and then excavate a trench for the water bypass pipe. We'll install a water bypass pipe with a board in the upstream face of it. Take down cofferdam number 1. Then lower the lake level, pond level, 6 inches, maximum 6 inches per day, and allow the fish to escape on their own, or to stay, whichever, up to them. Step 3, set up cofferdam number 2, and then once cofferdam number 2 is set up, to complete the work in the dry in cofferdam number 2. As any water that enters this pond is taken by the temporary bypass pipe. After everything's completed, water will then be switched over to the permanent culvert, and the temporary bypass pipe will be removed.
Yeah.
Most projects I do, there's a lot of questions about this, but feel free and I'll continue. Okay, so there's just a picture of a porta-dam. If people haven't seen it, the porta-dam on the right. And here's another picture of a porta-dam with a pipe through it. You can see the red there, it's a porta-dam. So this pond is about 8-9 feet deep. Porta-dam is a great little spot for this section, okay? So that's water control. Planting plan. The pond is gonna go from 5 acres to about 2.3 acres, leaving 2.7 acres of former land underwater to now exposed wetlands, okay? So we came up with this planting plan. We have zone 1 and zone 2. we have, I love this, scrub, shrub, wetlands, say that 5 times fast. And then zone 2 is riparian forest. We have all sorts of planting plans and our schedule and everything up top there. Any comments about it, let us know. We'll do whatever you want. This is our proposal. We want to follow all the rules, want to make people happy. On the bottom right here on my screen is the hydraulics of the proposed condition, okay? And you can see that we took it from 5 acres down to 2.3 acres. We did not dewater the entire thing. The reason for that is what we found is the pond bottom is actually very flat with a few deeper depressions, 1 to 2 foot depressions. In order to dewater this entire pond, we would really have to mess up the entire pond. We'd have to put an excavator through the entire thing and dredge a new channel. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather kind of preserve whatever's there and do least intrusive as we can. So we're gonna leave 2.3 acres of water there, 1 to 2 feet deep. So it's not gonna be regulated by dam safety. And we're also not gonna disturb that many wetlands, but we do need down the bottom here, we do need about 100 feet or 120 feet of new channel. So we'll dig that, we won't dig the entire pond out. On the bottom right is our, the hydraulics here. And importantly, since my laser doesn't work on your screen, I'll point at it, it's 500-year event. So the 500-year storm event generates about 60 cubic feet of water. And the pond will be 2.2 feet in water. That is how much water. You walk out there, it'll be 2.2 feet. Okay, that's important to the next slide. Okay, no questions so far. Where do we fit in the regulations? In order to be a dam breach project within 10.13, you need to have no retained water under the 500-year event. We are going to have retained water under the 500-year event. We're going to have 2.2 feet of water. So we're not applying under the 10.13, we're applying under the 10.53E, which we're furthering the protection and restoration of wildlife habitat. So that's a basic overview of the project. We propose to breach the dam. I can go on and on and on. My kids love it when I talk about work.
I don't think they do.
They all make fun of me, and feel free to ask questions. I'll see you, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna ask the wise guy question. Anybody in the room remember this pond being dug?
No, but I know who did it.
Okay.
The Haywood family.
Okay, for the farm, right?
For the farm, that's right.
Okay, see, you were gonna hit me.
I guessed.
That's a serious question.
Yes.
I'm lucky you like me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stop stabbing to the pen right now. For the public, how many dams a year are breached in Massachusetts, roughly? Because I remember back in the day, that was like a no-no. I follow all of them all the time now, and there are repeatedly breaching dams. Everyone thought that's the bad thing to do. Do you happen to know how many are breached a year in Mass?
I don't. I know lots of other facts about Massachusetts dams. There's about 3,200 of them.
Yep.
Most of them are for ice farming. Most of them are obsolete like this, no purpose. There's also lots of bad things with dams, right? They heat up the water, dissolved oxygen goes down, you accumulate sediment, there's all sorts of bad things. We should be breaching them. No, I don't. I bet it's in the dozens.
At least, I was gonna say 20 plus.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Especially down towards the Cape.
That whole region is ongoing gangbusters with taking them out, yes.
Hold on, I got one more. Can you please confirm that there's no stormwater that is charged or, that goes to this pond? Nothing, no stormwater at all from the entire campus discharges into that pond?
That's not correct.
How much? Go back, I'm asking for a reason. Now, a few years ago, maybe Duncan.
Here are the flows under the different storm events, right there.
But is any of the recharge that was put when the pavement was, some of the areas were redone, do you remember that? Is that taken in, do you know about that recharge underneath the pavement that they did a few years ago?
Yeah.
That's taken into consideration?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ron.
So, speaking about the wildlife, downstream, of the pond. So you're still gonna be a pond there, so it'd be a smaller pond.
Right.
And so you were talking about the, water temperature heating up, which affects downstream critters that need colder water, and also the DOC, so organic carbon. And is that anything gonna change with this plan?
Just a little bit. Let's see if I can, I'm not sure if I have it here. You know, I tried to put some rounded stones and just have the flow more constant. And what I think I'd even described it either here or one of the filings I put in there. It's just having the water flow over stones, you know, might put more DO back in the water, you know. I wouldn't say it's not a waterfall, but it's gonna help.
Who's gonna maintain all this after it's done?
The college.
Who maintains it now?
Well, it's on the college property.
Yeah, but who maintains it now? It's the college owns it.
Yeah, the college owns it.
Are they maintaining it, or have they?
Ask your question again.
Have they maintained the dam that's on the college property?
Minimally.
So
Most.
who's gonna be responsible to maintain this?
Okay, the responsibility is gonna be the college. Now, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Yes, there is. The section way over here on the left, I can get over these cords. 6 feet wide by 4 feet tall. That's a pretty good sized culvert, and that's why under the 500-year event, there's only 2 feet of water. So except for an entire tree blocking that up, even if it gets blocked up, water can certainly get through a 6 foot wide by 4 foot tall culvert.
Okay, I'm just concerned because I mean, evident with the question.
I'm concerned too. You don't wanna put something in that's gonna be, you know, blocked up and cause other problems. That's why we put that there.
Couldn't tell from the plan, how long is the culvert?
80 feet.
80 feet. Is it possible, you know, again, thinking about water, is it possible to have, the bottom of that, you know, is it the plan to have that, or maybe this is it, to have all the natural substrate, or similar substrate to?
Oh, okay, yeah, I thought about that. So here's the profile of it. So this is upstream, and then the water flows through downstream, and I could have colored it if we didn't be on there. We could do a bottomless culvert. I don't want to, because you're gonna have erosion on the sides, and eventually it'll settle down, and these are all gonna be put in sections, either precast, so 10-foot sections, and you'll get disjointing. So I definitely, that is an option, I thought about it, I don't wanna do it.
But isn't that the way the state's going now with no bottom or flat bottom culverts?
Careful, because it depends on flow. When your flow is low, yes, the more flow you have, the more erosion is gonna happen.
I'm just concerned that culvert that's there now is gonna cause a problem.
At Kelton Road?
Under the road, yes.
It's gonna be the same. The hydraulics today, right now, water comes into the pond, goes out of the pond. In the future, water's gonna come into the pond and go out of the pond. So it's not gonna change Kelton Road hydraulics at all.
Do you remember when that was replaced?
No, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, he is, and I am, is that water that goes out of that pond ends up in Pearly Brook.
Right, so we are at, upstream of Pearly Brook.
So what is the temperature change that you're forecasting downstream gonna be?
No, I didn't do it, I don't know.
Well, that's a cold water brook, right?
No.
Pearly Brook isn't cold? I always thought that area was.
Yeah,
I know Bailey, but.
Yeah, the brook going in is cold, there's native trout now.
But so right now, when you did your report, there was 6 inches of freeboard. If that's taken out, you know, again, so what's gonna happen to you have the downstream culvert? Cause you got that 6 inches of retention basin essentially, right? Currently.
Yeah, okay, the water is.
So it does slow down the water flow, so this will actually increase the water flow through there during storm events, right?
No, it won't. It'll be the same flow. Water flowing in, water flowing out. So right now, water is leaking through the dam, is what's happening.
I saw it today.
So
Yeah.
the whole thing is all wet, it's not working in the dam.
Yeah, no, I understand. We'll have to error in my logic, yeah.
So I guess should we be concerned with the potential temperature change downstream because of this breach? Even if it's short term?
It's not gonna be worse than what it is today.
How, well, you're gonna be bypassing all that and pumping it, right?
Oh, during construction?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, like, it's gonna be short term, but is there something that we should be doing, or is there some concern there?
We could do it early, like right now, the water temperature is probably, 50 degrees or something, right? It's not 90 like it is in the summer.
Right.
So we could do it earlier in the season.
Yeah, because you're saying it's supposed to be July 1st to August 31st?
So the date we're running into is Mass Fish and Wildlife wants us to dewater the pond before September 1st. So that's kind of the start of our construction. So as long as we get the water out, get the water control in place by September 1st and dewater it, then we can do all our culvert work and everything in the fall.
But your plan said July 1st, right?
Yeah, we'd like to, yeah.
Why do they don't, the water, why do they want that dewatered that time?
They talk about the fish life cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he told me about, yeah. That's least disruptive to the life cycles.
I mean, I imagine there's all warm water fish in there anyways, or.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
Basin.
perch and sunfish, yeah.
Pickerel,
Maybe.
okay.
Turtles.
Lots of turtles.
Yeah.
Frogs.
Still
Look
there.
at the frogs now, come on.
I have a quick,
Yes.
so that path that you showed in that picture earlier.
Yep.
Is that gonna be basically the same, but then it's gonna be built up over the culvert?
We're gonna put the path back. Yep, that's exactly right. So, and that's.
Electric back?
I'm sorry?
Electric also
We're gonna put
back?
the electric back as well. Right now, the electric's taken out just for the project. We're gonna run those 4 lamps back. But good point. So there's veterans housing on the other side, and I understand a lot of the veterans who live there take classes and then go through that path. We're gonna put that path back exactly the way it is.
Can you talk about what's gonna happen, in the future? We're not gonna be building, we're not gonna add more parking back there, nothing. Once this happens, can someone take a picture of that? 10 years from now, when I go to the gym and I really wanna park up front and I can't park there, I gotta walk when it's 10 degrees below zero.
Let me go back to.
Not that I've ever been to the gym
Here's
yet,
the
but.
big concern.
Do you remember back before you guys did all that other parking there? It was
Right.
brutal.
You still have to. No, you
Yeah,
still
it's so
have to.
bad.
No, you still do.
Currently, the Mount Wachusett Community College is under dam safety orders. They've been under this for years. This is the biggest thing. They want to get rid of this. Okay, so no.
So parking's not gonna be expanded
No.
closer to 10 years from now?
Nothing else is gonna happen except this project.
Okay. Anybody, on
The lady with the shaking her head, she's in charge of it.
No, I'm not in charge. We're all in charge.
Well,
Today you are.
No. Yeah.
Anybody in the commission have any questions?
I had a question, timing, those coffer dams, what, is it weeks at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one will probably be up for 1 week.
Okay.
And then the second one, I imagine will be up for 3, maybe 4 months. Months, not weeks.
Oh, months, okay.
The second one. They have to,
Yeah.
there is some work in order to get it in and get the head walls and all that stuff in. The 3 to 4 month kind of time frame.
So I guess we're still waiting for a DEP number, correct? And review?
I haven't gotten one, they contacted you guys? No?
So we're gonna not vote on it, but we can continue it to the 14th, unless you think we should push it to the April.
We're ready.
I know you guys are, but I'm talking about time for DEP to issue a number and comment.
Jason, you didn't have any? Don't know DEP number?
Yeah, I mean, we could hope for it next meeting, but yeah, it's neither here nor there when they'll get it.
14th?
Yeah, just still, yeah.
Anybody else have any questions on the commission?
No.
No. All right, someone like to make a motion to continue the breach of the dam at the Mount Wachusett Community College to April 14th.
I'll make that motion.
Someone to second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
It's not open for public, we voted to close.
well, this is a public hearing.
I had you guys on the docket right here for public comment at the beginning of the meeting for anything on the agenda.
So that's,
Well, next meeting, do it in the beginning, that's why we did that. Thank you. I'm not saying you can't, just next.
okay.
Next on the agenda is 170 Mill Street. I'm gonna continue this to the 28th, and I'm gonna send another letter to Mass Dam Safety, looking for an update and support. Someone like to make a motion to continue it to
I'll make
April
that
28th?
motion.
Someone like to second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. New business, anybody have any new business? Justin, you got any new business? Professional development, anybody have anything? Nothing?
Just great, this past weekend, there were two different estates, land conservation, and just by chance, there was a great one about culverts.
Oh, yeah, well,
So like the big ones, it's like that's the way to go.
yeah, I took it a couple of years ago. Were you there on that last time I did the culvert one? And that's what they're all going with the top ball.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're not. I get what he's saying on this particular case, but. All right,
I know about that culvert.
I know you do.
All of it.
Yep.
She's right.
Yep.
Sorry, looks like he's right.
Yeah, we can't talk about it,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so. Would someone like to make a motion to end tonight's hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Someone like to second that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, have a great night, everybody.